Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. We welcome you all for the Throwback Thursday program organized by Iskcon Seshadripuram. So today's today we have a very special guest with us, His Grace Goparaj Prabhuji. So before starting the session, I want to give you a brief introduction of Prabhuji. So Prabhuji joined Atlanta, US as full-time devotee in 1984, uh, and there he lived in the ashram and completed his Bhakta training program there. And then Prabhuji received his first initiation in 1985 and second initiation in 1986. Till now, Prabhuji has been engaged in lots of services like Pujari services, book distribution, Harinam Sankirtan, temple treasurer, college preaching, home program, traveling Sankirtan party. So it's a great opportunity for us that we have, uh, we have, we are having we are having Prabhuji's association here. So we would like to welcome Prabhuji by chanting one time Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Ram
Hare.
Ram. Hare Hare. Over to you, Prajit. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. We can start. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
I, how would you like me to begin? With anything specific or?
Prabhuji, you can start with anything you'd like. You can start with either pastime, your first interaction with Guru Maharaj.
Okay, I hardly know where to begin. This is a new area for me. But anyway, I'm certainly indebted to all of you. So my obeisances to everyone present. I feel very fortunate to be a disciple of Guru Maharaj, Srila Charyapad, uh, though I have no qualification. Uh, I I'm missing that the association that formerly I used to get, almost taking it for granted, because Atlanta was one of the places where Guru Maharaj often traveled and spent lots of time here with devotees, preaching, teaching all of us. So I miss being able to have that association. But nevertheless, I see how prolific Guru Maharaj is. Unstoppable. He simply continues preaching uh, as always. Personally, I've been fortunate to have a lot of personal contact in years prior, especially during the 1980s and 90s, when Guru Maharaj was coming to this side of the world more often. Uh, Many pastimes he's had in Atlanta. I guess I will mention like one of the first things that happened to me personally with Guru Maharaj. It might seem trivial and insignificant, but for me, it was a major deal. Shortly after I was initiated, and Guru Maharaj had returned to Atlanta to give a class, and he was going to spend approximately 4 or 5 days here. Anyway, one particular morning, he had not arrived down at the temple as usual. Uh, he was still up in the ashram. Uh, we have three buildings here in Atlanta, and he was in the building where Srila Prabhupada actually stayed when he visited Atlanta. Uh, anyway, we were chanting, waiting for Guru Maharaj to come down, and then the temple president told me I better go and check to see if he was actually going to do the class that particular morning. So I immediately got up, ran out the back door, and was on my way to the next building. There's a slight hill with steps to reach that building. So as I was headed towards those few stairs, I saw Guru Maharaj with the temple president at that time, Balabhadra, and they were on the way down the steps. So I just immediately like hit the ground and paid my obeisances. And it seemed like only a few seconds, but as soon as I stood up, Guru Maharaj was, his feet were actually right in front of me. And so I stood up looking into his face. I didn't know what to do. I'm a new disciple at that time. I didn't know what to do. And Guru Maharaj literally hugged me, picked me up off the ground, and just shook me back and forth. And he just said my name, Goparaj. And then he set me down. So I was explaining to Balabhadra why I was running out of the temple. And it became obvious, yes, Guru Maharaj is coming to give class. But that one thing, it was so unexpected. And so for me, it was very transcendental. I never expected my guru to physically just pick me up and hug me like that. Like I was, I could see that he cared for each and every person. That's just one tiny incident, but I always remember that. Um, if at any time someone has a specific question they would like to ask me, feel free. I'm just slowly trying to remember some of the nice things that happened when Guru Maharaj visited. Uh, one thing I will always remember in years past in Atlanta, we always used to reciprocate with the New Orleans temple. Every year they would have a big Ratha Yatra float in the Mardi Gras parade. I don't know if you're familiar with Mardi Gras, it's a big, material celebration that people have. So anyway, in New Orleans, literally millions of people come to New Orleans during that time. And New Orleans Temple would always participate in that parade. They would have a Rath Yatra float, actually two large floats. At one point, I believe they even had three floats. But anyway, we got to go from Atlanta to New Orleans to participate in the kirtan, the chanting. And one particular time I remember when we go and spend one night there in New Orleans. So the day before, which in this case would be a Friday evening, a big Harinam downtown. And so Guru Maharaj was in attendance. And there were literally thousands and thousands of people on the street. And devotees had told us that sometimes the police will hassle the devotees, that they don't want you chanting near these bars and hotels and whatnot. They don't want to disturb that consciousness, if you if you can imagine such a thing. Anyway, we went out late in the evening. It was around 8 o'clock, and we went downtown to this famous Bourbon Street, and we started the Harinam chanting. It's very ecstatic. Guru Maharaj was playing his big wampers. Most of you, I'm sure, are familiar with that. Uh, and it was an ecstatic kirtan. And then at one point, we came to this location down on Bourbon Street where there were several policemen, and everybody thought we should stop the kirtan. And we got a little quiet, but Guru Maharaj simply kept going. And to this day, I don't know if he actually spoke to the policeman or if he said anything other than Hare Krishna, but the kirtan kept going. We walked past the policemen. They did nothing. They seemed to actually like it. and we had an ecstatic time. And we came back, there was no policeman even there. So it was one of the best, the most amazing kirtans I could ever remember. But I remember Guru Maharaj simply looking at the policeman. I wasn't close enough to hear if he spoke to him personally, but they gave us no trouble and we had an ecstatic kirtan. So that type of association one-on-one with Guru Maharaj was very amazing to me and obviously very beneficial. This is way back in the late 80s. And that particular time, I actually understood Guru, Guru Maharaj a lot better because on these floats in the parade, uh, when you go aboard the float early morning, you're on there for 8 to 10 hours. You can't get off. It's a long, progressive drive in this type of parade. So they had a huge deity of Lord Jagannath on one float. And that particular year, I got to go on the same float with Guru Maharaj. And he was chanting, organizing different devotees to lead the kirtan and so on and so forth. And all day we were just chanting. I can't describe how that feels. Just all day chanting. The pujaris made an offering on board the float, and we were just there all day. And then towards the end, when the float finally gets out of this millions of people downtown, there's less and less people on the street. But I noticed Guru Maharaj didn't change the temper of the kirtan. We kept chanting and chanting. And then finally, the float was headed back to the temple. And there were maybe two or three people here and there. And so the kirtan kind of got silent. And Guru Maharaj said, "What happened? What happened? Why aren't you chanting? Chant." And I looked at Guru Maharaj and there were tears coming down his eyes. And at first I was thinking, well, the parade is over, we just stopped. That was not his mood. There was still like three or four people here on the sidewalk, another person here or there. So Guru Maharaj he said, this is the only chance some of these souls will get to hear the holy name chant. And so we just began chanting until we got all the way back to the temple on that float. It was very amazing. So over the years, it just stuck with me that he was in a deep, I don't know what to call it. He was deeply chanting the Maha Mantra with us, and that was his only interest, to get everybody in that city to hear the holy names. So it's a very powerful incident that happened to me. Um, I can continue unless someone has a question. It's quite often when I have the opportunity sometimes to give a class in the temple, and I always make a point that when we're doing our Friday class, even in the class, stop and ask me a question if you don't understand. It's just a process that we have going here. So if anyone does have a question, feel free to jump in and ask. Uh, if you want to hear more of incidents that I've gone through, I can try to continue here if I remember certain things. I guess a very important thing for me was when I got second initiation. Um, this was 1986. It was the first time Guru Maharaj was giving a written test for anyone taking second initiation. I was initially thinking I'm not qualified. Of course, I've never been qualified, but I was thinking I'm not qualified. But quite a few of the senior devotees that I knew at that time, they told me I should I should take the test. I should try to get Brahmin initiation. So with their encouragement, I did that, and uh, I felt, I had answered all the questions on the test. I didn't find anything that I didn't know or didn't understand. And then the temple president came to me after, and he said, Goparaj, your answers are okay, but Jayapataka, Srilachar, he said, Jayapataka said he thinks maybe you should wait a little longer. I was shattered. Keep in mind now, I had only been initiated like 1 year, so it wasn't a major thing. But I was shattered because he told me that. Only later did I really understand. He said, Your answers your answers weren't wrong. He said, but they're very short. So my tendency was to always, just like when you're in school, in college, they give you a question, you put down one or two sentences, and that's it. So I was thinking this test was the same nature, but Guru Maharaj wanted a little more in-depth discussion for each question. And I didn't do that. I was just, oh, this is the answer, this is what you do, boom. So he said, your answers were just a little short. They didn't show a more in-depth understanding. Um, on that same day, when I got that news from the temple president, a little bit later in the afternoon, he asked me if I knew how to shave up a person using the electric buzzers, clippers. And I said, yeah. So he said, would you like to shave up your Guru Maharaj? And I said, what? He said, would you like to? He needs someone that's good with the buzzers to shave him up. He wants to shave up his Sika. So I said, yeah, I'm stuttering. Yeah, yeah, I can do it. I can do it. Uh, and so I went up to the quarters, Guru Maharaj's quarters, and he was in the ready state. And I went in, and it was just him and I there in the shower room. And he said, make sure you don't cut my Sika. He said, make sure you don't cut my Sika. But he wanted a complete buzz up. And I was just thinking all the whole time that I was there, I was thinking he rejected me for second initiation. But then I completely forgot all of that. I it's like I lost my so-called a lot of my false ego was gone. That here he is allowing me, a new devotee, to personally shave him up. And then after that, uh, he said, this happened in June, is when he comes for Panihati Festival. He said, I will be back this year. I'm going to be back in September, which for Radhastami. And he said, if you're still here, I'm going to consider second initiation then. And that was end of the story. He came back in September, a few months later, and I got second initiation after only like maybe I think about a year and a half in the movement. He considered to give me second initiation, and because his schedule was so busy, so tight, he had to uh, the day after Radhastami here, he had an obligation to go to the Marari farm in Tennessee. So he didn't, because he was doing other initiations in Atlanta at that time, first initiation, he didn't have proper time to give me the mantra in my ear. So he told Balabhadra, the temple president, he said, let him accompany me to Tennessee and I'll do the Gayatri mantra there. So I traveled with Guru Maharaj and some devotees to Marari Farm, and that's where I actually got the Gayatri mantra given to me he did another initiation there at the farm, and several of us got second initiation at that time. So that was a very prominent thing I remember over the years, that Guru Maharaj, his mercy is just unfathomable. But that then after that, I didn't take anything for granted. Not that I was superficially, I mean, extremely, how would you say? I wasn't extremely high false ego, but I was very confident because I had been at the temple just maybe a half a year, 6 or 7 months, and I was given first initiation. And then I realized how much Guru Maharaj was trusting me that I would become a sincere person. So over the years, I've just seen that as something to keep me going. Very fortunate to have that kind of association. Different times I've seen Guru Maharaj exhibit just just a transcendental Shakti, especially I was one of the devotees during those years that would do book distribution at the airport. That used to be a prominent thing to have devotees go out the airport. So I was at the airport one time. I was very unqualified, really just learning to do this, but it was a day where I was just struggling. It seemed like my mind was telling me so many different things. You can't do it. People don't want these books. Nobody's going to listen. I'm sure many of you had this experience that you just kind of get on the mental plane with everything. Anyway, that particular day, I had been on concourse a couple hours, and maybe I think I had like $5 or $6. Only one small book was did I get out. That same day, Guru Maharaj was flying out of Atlanta, and he happened to come through the concourse we were working on. And he really didn't even stop because he didn't want to interfere with the book distribution. We paid a pranam, and he kept going to his particular gate, which wasn't that far away. He could still see us from where his gate was. When he came through, I was just very elated that Guru Maharaj is here, and he sees that we're on Sankirtan. But beyond that, I can't exactly say what happened, except that I I I got off the whole mental train that I was my best yielding days on Sankirtan, just seeing Guru Maharaj. He he came through. He didn't say anything. He saw us. He acknowledged the book distribution. We also had some small cassettes. Most of you probably don't even remember cassette tapes, but we had some music from the Marari band. We used to distribute those cassette tapes also at the airport. And so he simply acknowledged us. He went and sat at his gate, and occasionally he would kind of look over in our area. But outside of that, nothing else happened. But again, I realized by the end of the day, I had distributed more uh, that day than ever before. And also, I had from the airport, it was the largest amount of Lakshmi I had actually collected at the airport. So I remember that day just stuck in my mind, the the potency of Guru Maharaj. Hmm. Anyone have any particular thing they would like to know?
If any devotee wants to ask any question, they can raise their hand. I will unmute them.
I see one hand there. Is it Sri Lalita? Do I need to click or you click?
Click question. Mataji,
Yeah.
please.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Please accept my
Hare
humble
Krishna.
obeisances, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Jai Sri Lalita.
Yeah. Jai Shila Gurudev. Prabhuji, I wanted to know which quality of Guru Maharaj inspires you the most. You can narrate an incident and why does it inspire you the most?
Uh, Simply his sincere, unstoppable dedication to Srila Prabhupada and Prabhupada's mission. His unwavering, he's totally off the bodily platform, totally off the bodily platform. And over the years, uh, before the present situation, but from the very beginning, it has inspired me that he is just totally dedicated to preaching the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because that's what he got from Srila Prabhupada. I can only aspire to do a minuscule amount, which I haven't yet. I'm trying, but I haven't done anything yet. But that inspires me how Guru Maharaj is relentless. I've seen when before it was a big thing to even have a computer, just when using computers was becoming more popular. At one point, Guru Maharaj was one of the first devotees to actually get a laptop and use it in the service of Krishna. And I knew nothing about computers, but I was amazed at how he just rapidly incorporated that in his service. And one particular time with him doing that, uh, we were up late at night trying to serve him and get ready for the next day. And he was on this thing called a laptop. At that time, I barely knew what the word meant. And he was on it, and it was already like a little bit after midnight. And few of the brahmacharis were yawning. We couldn't stay awake because we're trying to get ready for Mangal Arati. And Guru Maharaj noticed that, and he just said, "Okay, go and get rest. I'm okay here." And so by that time, it was like about 10 minutes to one, quarter to one in the morning. And he was still on this computer, this laptop, arranging things, getting things done. And the next morning, I made Mangal Artik, but I was a little late. But I was just thinking, as soon as I walked into the temple, I hear him chanting. He was already there, way ahead of me even, and chanting the Maha Mantra. And I was thinking, he probably got maybe 1 or 2 hours at the most of rest, and the other time he's engaged in service. So we can see by his example, that's the only thing worth doing, is that to just continue being engaged in service. Like you might have this problem, that problem. In my own case, I'm getting some years on this body. So there's pain in my shoulder, pain in my knees. But I mean, the ultimate thing is that forget all this. You have to remember and serve Krishna. Of course, Guru Maharaj also is very expert in guiding devotees. And one of the things I heard him say before and even recently is that the number one thing you have to do is take care of your health. And he put that before. There was a few things he named, uh, japa being one of those. But he didn't put japa first, he put health first. And then I was just thinking about it that without health, what can we do? So it doesn't mean neglecting the body. You do the best you can with the body to take care of it, but you have to do the other parts also, and that is chanting, reading, preaching. So that inspires me about Guru Maharaj. I've seen him do it firsthand. To preach, he might have this condition, that condition, and he takes care of it. He tries the best to take care of it, but behind all of that, he's just preaching, chanting and preaching. So it's amazing. I can't properly express how amazing he is when it comes to this. Does that answer the question, or you want something more specific?
It answers my question, but I would love to hear something more also, Prabhu. But you can, there are other questions on the chat box. So once that is done, you can tell again.
Okay. You can give me the next question, or
I'll
I
read
can.
Prabhuji. Um, this is a question from Pavni Gaurpriya Mataji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, what would you think that pleases Guru Maharaj the most in a disciple?
What pleases him the most? Well, I would say beyond, of course, we know following the principles, chanting your rounds, those are the things. But if I backtrack to what I was just saying, what pleases him the most is if you're following his instructions, following the system set up by Srila Prabhupada. And that is chanting japa, studying the books, uh, getting more and more proficient, which is another thing I learned from him, how much he appreciates if you actually study. I myself have had the tendency to read all my life. I've always been interested, but he also promotes that, not materialistically, but the transcendental literature, because without that we don't understand what you're doing. It just becomes something sentimental. So Guru Maharaj appreciates when devotees study, and we can see by his own endeavor. Just recently, he got the Bhakti Sarvabhauma, so he doesn't stop. That is our inspiration. We have to study the books. Uh, once a long time ago, I was mildly chastising a devotee for something they did. And the response was, "Why are you always so philosophical?" But I wasn't trying to be philosophical. It was just a point that I was trying to make and show that it's incorrect to do this way and you should do it this way. So that's not, to be philosophical means really you just follow the principles. You follow through with whatever you're studying and reading. So that's certainly what Guru Maharaj inspires all of us to do. Does that answer the question, or any any other
Thank
question?
you. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Okay.
Prabhuji, I wanted to ask, like you mentioned that shaving incident, right? Like that, any other personal services over this span of in your so far what you had got to serve Guru Maharaj? Can you explain about that? Any humorous incidents that happened with him? Any instructions you got? Any chastisement that you got?
Uh, Actually, I can't really recall any personal chastisement uh, that he gave me. I've always been one to try to keenly follow what he's saying, especially oops, did I go away?
No, we could hear you, Prabhu.
No, no, Prabhuji.
I lost my visual. What happened? I think I hit something here. Oops. Am I still, here we are. Okay. Does everybody see me there?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. I was saying, oh, I don't want this. Sorry about that. Guess I tapped phone. Uh, I never got the chastisement for anything I was doing. I because quite often the routine things that happened on his visits, we would have a greeting, we would have actually a foot bathing, those things every time that he would visit. So I got to do personal things like washing the feet, touching the feet, drying the feet, more than any one or two times. It was something that I got to do personally that I realized others were not getting this type of thing. So I greatly appreciate that I was allowed to do such things that I knew many devotees and especially even disciples didn't get that opportunity. I've had the opportunity on more than one occasion to personally be on the altar with Guru Maharaj, especially during our Paniyati festivals. I was one of the pujaris. We had three pujaris on the altar, and Guru Maharaj was doing the artik, and different devotees on either side of him for the three altars. So this is a very special thing to be able to do that type of service, um, to go on the altar to help him during the festivals. He was and continues to be a major organizer of this Panihati festival. But each year he would come and uh, every year things increased. He would come with a whole new list of recipes that he would try. He would organize the pots, the making of the pots, the different categories that they would come in. So I got to practically every year I was involved in this service as a pujari on the altar, helping to do different things like that. Uh, I can't emphasize how much that benefited me to keep me to this present day. So uh, it's been the mercy of Guru Maharaj that keeps me. Uh, I've seen uh, devotees, and I don't mean this in a negative way, but I've seen devotees come and then devotees leave, unfortunately. Not, I mean, leave to go elsewhere. Uh, and it's sometimes you wonder about that. But I've been very fortunate that what I've seen, picked up, and actually gotten from Guru Maharaj simply just keeps me fixed in what I know I must do, or at least try to do. So I'm very appreciative of that. Uh, but it's unique to be able to do some service like I just mentioned, like to do an artik for the deities right next to your Guru Maharaj. It's not, to me, it's not an ordinary thing. It's something very special, and I appreciate it to this day. Uh, I'm trying to think of some other maybe direct pastime, or with me, Guru Maharaj has always been very gentle. Uh, I've seen an incident where just a few years back, when he was still coming to the West, a little less often, but he came to Florida. So my wife and I, we also went down to get darshan at the Alachua temple. Anyway, he was at a home program, and because I wasn't able to get there at the start, everything had started. So the devotee house that I was there, he showed me where the Guru Maharaj was, and they were having some darshan and discussion. So I stood way back by the entrance in the driveway, in the physical, uh, 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 not driveway, what the garage. I'm losing ability to remember. I stood way back in the garage because I didn't want to disrupt the meeting. But Guru Maharaj could see from where he was sitting, he could see out of the room and all the way back to where I was. And he just, without hesitation, he just called me. I was wondering if he would even remember me. And he said, Goparaj, Goparaj, just called me into to the meeting. And I just felt like, hey, I'm alive. He knows me. He remembers. But I should chastise myself to think that each and every one of us, Guru Maharaj remembers and understands what we need to keep going in Prabhupada's movement. So it's very fortunate.
Wonderful, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. I think if every incident that you tell, it's like you're more fortunate, more fortunate. You're able to realize so much of Guru Maharaj's mercy. I just wish even we could, if you please bless us, that we also get that mercy sometime.
Uh, I unfortunately I have no Shakti, no power, but Guru Maharaj can certainly give that Shakti in ways you never imagined, ways you never thought would happen. Uh, so we're all blessed and fortunate to be under his shelter, and we simply have to persevere, which is what Srila Prabhupada taught. Also, you don't stop because there's nothing else. Sometimes, myself certainly included, always seems like I should be doing this. What am I going to do in this situation? But in the ultimate analysis, there's nothing but Krishna and nothing but service to Krishna. So if we get caught up in something really material, we have to definitely step back and look at that same situation. There's nothing else. It might seem important. It might seem like I just got to do this, but it really isn't. The only thing we need to do is serve Guru and Guranga. That's the only thing in this world. Everything else is just it's a shallow, shadowy type of situation that will keep us, enamored in the material world. And we're trying to get out of it. So I have to remind myself constantly, we all do. And if the only way to do that is to stay in touch with Guru and Gauranga. Whatever service we have to keep it up. Uh, my wife and I have been fortunate, even many years we lived in the ashram at the temple, but then we had to move out, family. Uh, by the way, we have two grown sons, my wife Navanari and I. We have two grown sons. Our oldest son is married, but we have kept that connection with Guru Maharaj and service to the deity and the devotees. And I can see that whoever does that is making that progressive march towards Krishna, back to Golok Vrindavan. Uh, the main thing is like to keep the rod in the fire. If the rod is in the fire, it's non-different than fire. You take it out, it's going to cool down and can actually lose whatever fire was there. So we have to keep that connection. And we can keep it simply by praying and remembering. Uh, we don't necessarily have to get the physical contact, even though it is very wonderful. But I had very nice instruction in my early time period at the temple to learn how to serve, and that you, even if you can't physically always be with or near your guru, you still, the service is the connection. You're still there. So it's something that anyone can benefit from by remembering that. Anyone else have something, some subject that we can discuss, or maybe something I could remember?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, you told that Guru Maharaj personally lead the Atlanta's Pani Hati festival. So, can you please share some pastime related to the Pani Hati festival that you have experienced or saw, Guru Maharaj?
Okay. Panihati is Atlanta's major festival. That's when over the years, I've seen the most devotees show up for that and the biggest congregations. What I remember is that my very first Ratha Yatra in Atlanta, when I didn't even really know what a Ratha Yatra was, back in 85. Yeah, the summer of 85. At that particular time, the temple even didn't have Rath carts anymore. So the Rath the Jagannath parade was very simple. We simply, on that day, they put some pots on the altar, and then we actually put the deities on palanquins, and we carried all the three deities across from our temple. Is a very big park. And so we carried the deities over to the park, and we circumambulated this big park with Jagannath, Balaram, and Subhadra, and we came back to the temple. Uh, I put the deities back on the altar. So that was Panihati. But then from the very next year, when Guru Maharaj's uh, influence with Balabhadra Prabhu to really uh, fire this festival up, a very dear devotee, uh, I can't think of her name right. Anyway, she was able to find an old like wagon, horse and buggy wagon, and she bought this whole frame and she built a cart that would hold the deities. So from that point on, we would actually have a parade close by in one of the big neighborhood areas, or later on, we were going back downtown putting on a major event. So I remember each Panihati, Guru Maharaj is there directing how things should be done, and increasing to where the probably even to this day, I don't think we've duplicated one particular Panihati. We had it was over 800 pots. There was not enough room on our altar. We had to extend the altar out onto the floor of the temple. There were so many pots, and there were so many capable devotees making these pots, arranging everything. It was unbelievable. I think there's still one photo I have of this particular Panihati. But we saw literally over 1,000 people that weren't devotees come to this festival that particular year. We kept track at the gate, at the entrance to the temple, just giving out little tickets. So it was very inspiring to see so many people coming to get Lord Jagannath's mercy. But over the years, it was, and not my saying, but many devotees can tell you the same thing, that Srila Prabhupada inspired Guru Maharaj to keep expanding this Paniyati festival, and with newer and newer pots. So it became and still is a major event in Atlanta. Uh, Many years, practically every year since I got my second initiation, I also was employed serving the deities on the cart. So each year I would get to go with Jagannath, whether we went uh, to the local area parade or sometimes we would do downtown parade. I've always got that mercy to serve Lord Jagannath on the cart. Um, Even to this very past year when we had Ratha Yatra, I got to serve Srila Prabhupada on the cart, just fanning and going downtown. So it's been something that has also inspired and it's kept me in the devotional mood over the years. Being able to have even the most simple service to the deities for Guru Maharaj, you can't even calculate the benefit. So I'm very thankful for that.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, if you would like to take some questions, I can ask. If anybody wants to ask any question, they can just raise their hand.
I can't I can't hear that question.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I
Hare Krishna.
wanted to ask those, Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. I wanted to ask those who are not initiated and not able to connect, how they can connect with Guru Maharaj and how they can serve and how they can, and they are not got the opportunity to serve. So how they can please Guru Maharaj.
If you're not initiated, how can you connect with Guru Maharaj? Is that
Yes,
the question?
yes, yes.
Uh, my suggestion would be to contact Guru Maharaj's present servants and let them know by giving your particular information that you're very interested to get with Guru Maharaj. And if you're interested in initiation, whatever it is, you would have to physically get that information to his current servants. I think they have quite a unique process to do that. Other than that, you simply pray to Krishna and Guru that you want to become initiated, if that's your goal, and you have to get that information, who you are and what you're doing and what your desire is, to Guru Maharaj. And I'm sure he will at some point find some time to respond to you. That I've seen in the past, that's how many people have approached.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranams. Thank you so much for this wonderful class. So I wanted to ask you if what qualities of Guru Maharaj that attract you more, and how do you see your relationship with him now um, over the past many years? How it has strengthened? Thank you.
Well, my relation actually with him, I just have grown to appreciate more what it means to be an initiated devotee and be connected to the parampara. Uh, what I like about Krishna consciousness in general, what inspired me to come was Srila Prabhupada's books, demystifying the whole thing about transcendence and how to what was beyond this world and how to get out of this present world. So my connection to Guru Maharaj is like it's just ironclad because of his mercy. He gave me the initiation, and he gave me second initiation. So it's by his mercy that I'm able to do anything. Unfortunately, there's no qualification I've had or have that that has allowed this. It's his mercy. And that's what keeps me going. That knowing that I have this and trying to not get sidetracked, not wanting to waste that opportunity. That's what has kept me focused. I'm not one to judge how successful I've been, but I'm trying in that regard. But the whole process and of of the practical application through the mercy of Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada and this transcendental literature, I can't emphasize too much that we all need to read and study. Once you really immerse yourself in Prabhupada's books, the Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, everything is answered there. So you have to study it because this is not a superficial thing that this world we're in is temporary. Kali Yuga is certainly getting stronger. We don't want to linger around here unless we are 100% fixed up. So the books help a great deal explaining what's going on, what will go on, and what to do about it. Uh, it's one thing to say, I want to transcend, I want to go beyond this world. But if you don't have a clue where you're transcending to, what does it mean to transcend, to get beyond all of this material riffraff, you won't get that out if you don't read Prabhupada's books. There's no mystical, uh, what do they call it? There's no mystical snap your finger type enlightenment, sudden enlightenment. To really become enlightened, you have to study and read the books. And then if you do that, you're automatically going to be applying what you learn. It's like if you sincerely start chanting, if you're sincerely chanting, you're going to automatically want to read the books. You're going to want to read more. If you just in the beginning, you just seriously study Bhagavad Gita, any of Prabhupada's books, you're going to see the necessity to chant. It all goes together. Uh, Hearing, chanting, associating with devotees. Uh, all of that is part of the same process, and it all fits together very nicely. So if you're doing one of those things, all of it will start to happen. So it's no again, like I say, it's not like some kind of magic snap your finger thing. It's just automatically you will be able to transcend when you study what Srila Prabhupada is saying about this world. Uh, what he said, 20, 50, 100 years ago, it's still prominent right now. in the world we live. And so we can take those instructions and apply them to our own activities, our own daily life. So what keeps me going, what I feel very connected to Guru Maharaj when I study, because I know this is what he does. I know this is what he wants from devotees, to actually understand Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita. There's so much nectar in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, I couldn't begin to repeat it. I feel also very fortunate because every week I do a Friday study class at the temple. And so that's one of the ways that I have to continue reading. And we study Chaitanya Charitamrita, we study Bhagavatam in those little small classes. Very inspiring. So whether you do it as an individual or you do it with a few, the main thing is to do it. So it's up to us to keep the connection. That connection, the opportunity is given by Guru and Guranga, but we have to pick up that opportunity and keep it in the fire of association. That will keep us connected.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. And I have seen you sincerely chanting when we happened to visit Atlanta during festivals in the room near to the deity room. And you have run the marathon of, being a sincere practitioner for so many years, which proves that you're very dear to Krishna and Guru Maharaj. And thank you for giving us the secrets that we need to be studying and sincerely chanting and in the association of devotees. So when you speak, I remember what Guru Maharaj is repeatedly telling us to do: Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav, and other courses to study the books. So thank you so much. And we are very grateful for your association.
Well,
And
I need the prayers of devotees. So I'm just a speck, an insignificant speck at Guru Maharaj's feet. So I need the prayers and I need the association of devotees to help me in this march. Otherwise, I'm in a hopeless situation. So thank you all very much for having me.
thank you, Prabhuji, for being such an example of, a pure devotee, showing us what it means to do devotional service as a sincere servant of Guru Maharaj, decades to come. We sincerely seek your blessings, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, yes, Mataji. It's very right. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for sharing all these wonderful pastimes and your, I would say, beautiful realization. And we really need your more association. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. We would like to thank you by chanting one time Hare Krishna Mahaman. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Thank you
Hare
so much, Prabhuji. Thank you so
Krishna
much.
Prabhuji, Dhanavad Pranam.
Thank you all very much. Glories to Guru Maharaj, glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So we shall break the connection then. Hare Krishna.